Hello, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the F1 My Team Career Mode. We are rocketing towards the end of the season, and we have some extra on-track running to do today because we are in Brazil for a sprint weekend, and we are back in Brazil. And also, guess what else is back? The rain for the Grand Prix. So we have got more wet sessions on the way. It does look like we are going to dodge rain in the sprint and both qualifying sessions, but look at that rain. Heavy rain to light rain to heavy rain to light rain. It's probably going to be a mess to try to navigate and deal with. So I'm not particularly looking forward to that. Let's get the right engine components installed on the car. Week number 21 of the season. You can see as a team we are sitting on 99 points. Joshua and I make up P9, P10 for a solid lockdown of P5 in the constructors. And we managed to grab just a single point last time out in Mexico. Honestly, I was expecting no points, but a safety car kind of helped us out in that regard to score some points. So the goal here this week is score at least 1 point. Let's try and get over that 100-point mark before we leave. I think our best opportunity probably going to be the sprint. Unlike a lot of the other tracks where it's been rainy and I've been able to kind of park the bus, I think Brazil is imminently overtakeable, and I think I'm going to be in trouble in general, especially because it's a big traction event to get onto that main straight. But enough waffling. Let's get into qualifying.
It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos? It's qualifying day here for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
All right, here we go. Let's get ready for our first run. As always, we're on the medium tire. One thing I don't think I've ever mentioned is you don't get a set of medium tires to run in the practice session. So this is also kind of the opportunity to get a feel for what the medium tires are going to do. Granted, it's not super representative because it's over one qualifying lap, but it's at least our first time to be on the tire all weekend. Fair bit of margin on the way into turn one. Could break definitely later than that. But we're all about learning and getting a banker lap in at this stage. Pitching our way through the first sector into the middle sector. Very quick little sweeper up the hill, keep it in track limits. We really got that front left pretty warm by pushing that hard through that corner. And of course, sun's out, so track temperature is up a little bit. And now you'll see the most important corner on the track, Junsao here, because it is such a long run to the line. You got to get out of this corner, and this is where I think in the rain it's going to be a real problem because you're turning and accelerating the whole time, which is exactly what the car does not like. Hugging the inside to make a short line. Short run to line, a 107.1. Not a terrible lap there. A decent start. All right, getting ready for the final lap here. An important note is we've actually fallen behind, I believe it's Aston and Williams in the performance chart. So qualifying is a little tougher than what it has been as far as where the car's performance is. We have to kind of time our last lap pretty well because it's a short lap around here and the leaders are just coming out of the final corner now and we aren't that far off the car ahead, but we need a very solid lap here. Still a little tentative into turn one. It's where the lap can really fall apart if you're not careful. So in spite of the extra grip that the soft tires provide, we've really not gained much through the first complex. The middle sector, though, is where that extra grip is really going to come into play from the soft tires. So let's see if we can find a little bit of something on this tire. A little bit of a lockup on the way in. Get out of Junsao cleanly. The power is down. We're going to find about a half second. but that's not a huge improvement, all things told. Where does that put us on the grid? Just 15th, so a lot of work to do to try and score a point in the sprint here, and we have the rain looming for the Grand Prix.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
Joshua managing to get it into the top 10. Well done from him. But we've got some work. I mean, we were almost a second off of our teammate there. Definitely a tentative lap on the softs. But still, got to deliver when you get the one shot. Hopefully we can do better in Grand Prix qualifying and set ourselves up for the race. But still got to get through the sprint, so let's get after it.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Tsunoda, Ayrton Senna, and Piastri, Sainz, Albon, Antonelli, Pierce, Verstappen, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Hülkenberg, Martins, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, and Isaac Hadjar, Doohan, Lawson, Bortoletto, and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Okay, so I did check the email. It confirmed that the performance charts, the way they're looking these days, is that Aston Martin and Williams have both surpassed us on the performance chart. And Alpine is actually getting quite close at this stage. We need about 15 kilos of fuel in the tank. So we will dial that down to the 15 kilos as expected based on practice. And it is time to go racing. No stops. We just need to try and see what kind of pace we have. Raw, with no help, aside from DRS. DRS will help. Here come the lights. There is opportunity to move up into turn one if you're daring, but it is often a place where you can pick up damage if you're not careful. Decent start. Let's slot in for the outside line. Oh, and he moved over right in front of me, so I had to take to the grass, and that is going to demote me a couple of positions. We are on the outside 3 wide here. Ooh, a little bit of wheel spin on the outside part. And he'll finally slot in. We'll take a cheeky position right there. It is going to switch to the outside. And this time we should be able to get the job mostly done. Well, he's hanging out. Okay, so back up into 18th now after being forced to escape into turn one. That's going to be just the worst possible news as far as trying to score points today. I won't expect to be going much of anywhere in this sprint from this far back and in this DRS train. So at this point, let's see what we can learn for the Grand Prix. Well, actually, we're not really learning anything for the Grand Prix because of the rain now that I think about it. So, yeah, kind of a wash of a weekend almost. Well, we'll see. We have had some chaotic stuff in the rain and done decently. Has been around tracks where it's been much harder to overtake, so we've been able to hold people up some more. But we're not totally toast. Chaos reigns. There's a lot of changes to the weather condition, so we might have an opportunity here. Deep in the slipstream, let's pull to the outside. Gonna turn to the inside of turn 2. That'll get that job done. So we're up a position now, back into 17th. And let's see if we can't just steadily work our way forward. Well, there's quite a big gap between us and the points, it would appear. You never know when somebody's going to have a retirement. Teammate status.
Gap to your teammate ahead, 3.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 10th place. Time last lap, 1 minute 10.0.
Okay, Joshua's still in 10th, so now we kind of know where on the mini-map the points are, and it's a decent ways up there. Leave him space on the inside. Make sure we get off this corner well, because he is going to have DRS to re-attack. But I think we should have the margin we need. '16th, one more position up to get back to where we started. Which, considering the way the start went, I think is probably the goal for this race, is to get back to 15th. Ooh, tires are definitely starting to feel it a bit. What's the wear percentage? Yeah, rears are starting to go. Ocon will have DRS on us, which means he's going to close this gap up relatively quickly. How's tire temperature looking? Yeah, rears are getting pretty warm. Oh, Ocon had a spin out there, and there was a crash with Liam Lawson. We're getting ready to start the final lap. We had built up over DRS gap to Ocon behind, but it looks like there's quite the pile up in the middle sector at the end here. But we're working our way on the final lap here. We weren't able to chase down Hulkenberg. We were able to keep the gap kind of steady. Fuel, we might need to do a little bit of a lift and coast here. But with that crash behind, we've got plenty of space behind us. And we'll just bring it home. Teammate status.
Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 11.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 10th place. And the time last lap, 1:10.1.
Yep. 10th place for Joshua Pierce, so just outside the points. Finished where he started, which is okay. George Russell has taken the sprint victory. Looks like Lando Norris is probably 3rd or 4th. Hard to tell on the dots there. But we're just cruising our way around, making sure we got the last bit of... we'll kind of coast with low fuel at this point. Yep, low fuel mode is engaged, and we'll start to sputter the engine and just coast across the line.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix.
So Lando Norris managed to get up to second, actually. Leclerc fell down from pole. Swap positions, so decent drive for him. Antonelli got himself into the points. Albon scoring the last point. Ahead of Max Verstappen, who must have got stuck behind Joshua because he didn't really go anywhere. And his pace was not very impressive. Same with us, our pace not very impressive with where we were at. So it's not looking particularly good for the rest of this weekend.
It's a Saturday showdown. Anyone fancy some hot laps around Interlagos? It's qualifying day here for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
All right, getting ready for the first run of Grand Prix qualifying. All soft tires for this session. So we need to make sure we get some representative times to begin with. It's going to be very important to qualify well with the weather ahead of us. Definitely need to make up for that disappointing performance in the sprint, but here we go. Starting the flying lap. Little bit of tire drag on the way in there. Definitely pushed the limits. Back end stepped out a little early on the throttle there. So definitely some opportunity to improve already on this one. Little safe into turn 4. There's some real little drift almost outside of track limits as the car really started skidding as it crested the hill. I think the tires got very warm. And we're probably pretty unhappy with how much stress I just put them through. One more important corner. Foot flat to the floor. Battery deploying the whole way. Open the DRS. And we're at least into the 106s this time. But slower than the other two that have finished laps. So, not ideal. All right, only provisional P15 after that first run. We're about a half a second off of our teammates' pace. So, we're out on our second run. Let's see if there's any opportunity to find some of that missing time. I think we can be better in turns 1, turn 4. Really, we can be better most places. But wow, the pace is insane at the top. 104s to set the pace at the top running cars. About even Stevens through turn 1. Almost a little too tentative this time. A little bit of time found, but nowhere near the improvement we need. P17 by the time we finish that lap. And still probably a few tenths off of our teammate. We do get one more shot at this at the end. We'll put on the new tires and go for it. But qualifying, especially as this car drops through the tech tree, it's getting harder and harder. Here we go. Sitting P17 provisionally. This is our last chance to get out of the bottom of the barrel in qualifying here. New tires are on. We need as good a lap as we can possibly manage. A little bit of time through the opening complex, but not as much as we'd like to see. Car did not want to get slowed down for that corner. Push down to 18th now. It's all about Jun Sao. We're only going to find about 2/10. It's not going to be enough to move us anywhere near the top 10. And in fact, we got a worse exit, so we're bleeding time. Only found about a 1/10.5 on that final run. I think that's still going to keep us, yes, 17th. That is a rough qualifying for what is going to be a very rough race. Antonelli puts it on pole by just 4 thousandths over his teammate. Joshua in 15th. We were only about a 10th off of him, so might be similar to the pace of the cars, but still would like to have gotten more out of that. To only find a 10th after going on to new tires is not great, especially with the track improving.
Welcome along then to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the very final corner. And just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7-mile circuit with 9 left turns and 6 right turns for a total of 15 corners. It's a wet one today as well, so grip and visibility will be at a premium, and the drivers will need to be careful coming up the hill in Sector 3, the scene of many an accident over the years. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Senna, Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Russell, Sainz, Albon, Tsunoda, and Fernando Alonso, Piastri, Gasly, Jack Doohan, and Hulkenberg, Pierce, Ocon, Victor Martins, and Ollie Behrman, Stroll, Hadjar, Bortoletto, and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
If we don't want to be stuck near the back for most of the race, you're going to need to push early on. Good luck.
Okay, says 45 kilos, but considering the way we burn fuel in the race, I'm gonna overfuel by a full kilo and see what happens. It's really just gonna be all about reacting to the way that the weather is going, and making sure we're on the right tire at the right time. In position here on the grid, tried to learn what we could on the formation lap about grip. But it's all an adventure from here. 3 wide already developing in front of us. Being pushed out very wide. Ooh, no grip in the braking zone there. And just like that, those positions that we gained at the start are already gone, although we should be able to snag a little something up the inside here. Get at least 1 spot back. There is no grip on this circuit. Feel like I'm driving a boat, not a race car. One lap in the books. I don't know how they are getting slowed down for these corners because I am struggling. There's just no turn in. There's nothing. Weather report.
The rain's getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Full wet seemed like the best tyre for now.
I'm going to be real happy when we start getting towards inters, hopefully. Hopefully that's faster rather than slower, but... yeah, losing time to the car ahead pretty significantly. Weather report.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. ETA on this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there, you're doing well. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now.
Okay, hard to say. We're coming in. We're going for the early gamble. Box this lap.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Tentative entry into the pit lane. Very cautious. But I think it's what we needed. Tell me this was the right gamble. Okay, 15-3 getting on the road. I think these might be it. Almost a second on that lap. Kind of bouncing back though. 14-3, it's hovering. What's the yellow flag? Who's out of the session? It's an Aston. Fernando is out. Yep, people are making their pit stops now. Okay, that's Stroll. Weather report.
Okay, the rain should be ending shortly. So we should see a dry line starting to form fairly rapidly, so make sure you cool your tyres down the straights. Okay, the forecast suggests this rain's going to keep getting stronger for at least the next 15 minutes. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters.
This is weird. I'm just gonna stay on the inners. I don't trust this second batch of rain to not ruin my race. Weather report.
So the rain should be stopping anytime soon. The dry line's going to come in quickly, so don't waste any time getting back up to speed. The rain's going to keep getting heavier for the next 15 minutes at least. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
I can't do it. I can't make the change on I mean, my inters are cooking. Do we do it? Do I just go for the dry tires and... I mean, doing what everybody else is doing is not going to get me anywhere, so... 20 laps. It's got to be the hards. Weather report.
Okay, the forecast suggests this rain's going to keep getting stronger for at least the next 15 minutes. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Is everybody coming in for dries? That's what it looks like. Well, at this point, I've kind of missed the changeover boat.
And that's Joshua in the pits. Joshua in the pits now.
So do I just stay out? Yeah, at this point, I'm just staying out. Weather report.
Radar suggests some weather's going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes. Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Come on, the sun's coming out now? Weather report.
We don't think it's going to stay dry for much longer. The rain could come at any moment, so watch out. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
We're just gonna stick with it. I can't take the extra stop now. Come on, rain! Weather report.
Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
So there's no more rain on the way. The rain's missed us. Weather report.
Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Weather report.
Okay, dries seem like the best tyre for now.
One more lap. Weather report.
At least another 10 minutes until this rain evens out. Stay
Okay,
alert out
rain
there.
is out.
Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Weather report. In for a fresh set of inters. Gotta love the bad stop.
Joshua's coming in for his stop.
Well, we made up some ground on Stroll at least. How much that's actually going to help me, don't know. I think everybody's back on wet tires. I think net, that means I came out slightly ahead, suffering on those intermediates. Now, there's no way that those intermediates were going to get to the end of the race or the next pit stop. Maybe if it goes full wet, then it might have been the right call to stay out on those tires. But I think right now, what I'm committing to is the tires I've got on till the end of the race. If it gets to that, like, almost wet tire, but not, like, in between inters and wets, and some of the AI takes the wets, we might have an opportunity to score some points. Nico Hulkenberg. Ugh.
VSC deployed. The virtual safety car has been deployed. We need to keep a positive delta here. Slow down and maintain a positive delta.
Doesn't really help me at all.
Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until we get the green flags. VSC ending. Wait for the greens.
Ooh, that came at an awkward spot. Pretty sure this is the first time this has happened in the career mode, is getting lapped. But we are now a lap down. Piastri came in for the wets on like the last lap. This is going to be our last lap. We are a lap down. So starting the final lap of the race here. It's been a trial and a tribulation for sure. I think we mostly got the strategy right. We just didn't have the pace that was necessary to get into the points. I believe Joshua is also just out. Well, that depends. Teammate status. Did Piastri pitting
Gap to your teammate ahead.
put him in the points?
23.7 seconds. They're on old intermediates. They're in 10th place.
Yes,
And
okay.
Time last lap, 1:19.8.
Okay, Joshua, one more lap, buddy. Because he might score the point, but Piastri pitting for that extra set of wets has actually moved Joshua into the point scoring position. He does have company, it looks like, on the mini-map. So we're going to have to wait and see. Our race is about to be over. Oh no, Joshua, 12th? What happened? What happened to Joshua at the end there? Why is he suddenly 12th? Did he have an incident? No, we were about to score our point. The team was about to score the 100th point of the season.
Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Oh, I'm going to have to go look at the replay and see what happened.
checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
And they're just starting to make it look easy out there. Now a hat-trick of wins. They're out there ahead. They've got the momentum on their side. And it's for the others now to try and up their game to stop that energy that they have.
It's what they've all been racing towards, waiting for them. High above the pit lane is our podium. And for the lucky three, it's time to stand on it. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, Leclerc picked up a healthy heap of points. I gotta see what happened to Joshua, though. He was right there until, like, the start, until turn 3. But as far as results go, obviously, we've scored nothing. Let's see what the standings look like, though. Only 50 points now, the gap between Leclerc and Norris out front. It's getting kind of close up there. And the battle still for the constructors very much in play. Let me save this replay real quick. And then view it, because I want to see what happened to Joshua here. So let's warp ahead. Was it lap 24? When was he in 10th? Oh, he came into the pits too. Okay, that's what happened. I see. So he was shuffled. Understood. Well, we did not get our 100th point of the season. Got a couple more races to do it. The time is dwindling and the car is now slipping back in the field. You can see how competitive the Williams Alpines have been with us. So let's head back to HQ, see if there's some upgrades on the car before the end of the season. But of course, we are focusing on developing for next season.
Hey, boss. Have you got a moment to look at something?
All right, we got an event to take a look at. Title sponsor to networking. Race weekend is a priority. We are moving on from this title sponsor as well. So, you know, that kind of plays a bit of a factor. Okay, driver training. Morale in the powertrain department. Powertrain development blitz. And what do we have? Yeah, focus. Keep the drivers focused. That's going to be very important. Sure, perception as well. And what do we got? Yeah. Fan outreach. Fan outreach. Our usual set of things to be done. Engine issues. Okay. Yeah, you see we've fallen behind Williams and Aston Martin in the charts now. So that's going to be something to perhaps worry about a little bit. We have an aero research on the way. We have available power unit research. Although we're going to have to develop, I think. All right, we'll start it. I forget how it behaves. If we have to redevelop the adaptations for next year, or if when you put in a research before the end of the year, it is just ready. So we are close to having all parts handled. 3 more sets for chassis and a couple more for... where am I going? Where am I going? Ah, yes. We're going to check finances. How are we on the cost cap? We're stacking up some cash. We're good on the cost cap. We've got 10 million left in bubble space there. Where's results? Because I do want to take a look and see. Season 1, 91 and 28 is 119. Yeah, 119. So we are going to fall a little short of what we did last year. Granted, the top 4 teams were not so locked out. You see, we finished ahead of Antonelli by a decent margin last season. Joshua only picked up 28 points. I think he's doing better this season. Yeah, 32. We have slipped back overall, but I mean, there's just not been much opportunity for points on the table in that regard. But a double points, a non-double points result hurts for sure. Let's advance. We got Vegas coming up next. Ooh, stopping the timing,
Chief,
huh?
Engineering need your attention on something.
Engineering event, what do you got? Yeah, no bad press. It was taken out of context. Explain that. Okay, front nose research done. Lovely.
Hey, Chief. Just a reminder to kick off some research projects. We don't want to fall behind our rivals, and we haven't got anything in the pipeline at the moment. Thanks.
So, let's... I guess we'll develop one, because at least it'll get here before the last race of the season. If we dual develop, then we're just not getting anything. Oh, wait, can I do... Oh, I can do 2 single slots. Yeah, there we go. Now we're thinking with portals. Adaptation. Adaptation. We should be able to get those last adaptations done. Okay, injection system, and what about the rotors? Dual develop, and we'll have both of them for the last race of the season. Although it's only 5 days. Let's do 1 and 1. Yeah, 1 and 1 is the way we'll do that, because then we'll at least get that last one before on both cars. This is what I'm trying to say. Is there development that I have not done yet? Is there an open slot? No, there's not. Okay, cool. It's yelling at me for development for no reason. Components! Let's go. For the last 3 races, Joshua, you're getting fresh components. That's totally good. Yeah, we'll just get you some fresh components on the car for the last 3 races of the season. Those should take him to the end quite comfortably. But it is Las Vegas coming up next. Hopefully we can bounce back and get back into the points-paying graces that we've been out of for, and get to our 100-point margin. We're gonna come up short of what we were last season, but I think that's okay. I think we have the opportunity for a big step forward next year, as we should have all of our developments guarded and researched. So, thank you all for joining me. As always, I will catch you next time. Peace.